Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When I sat down, I was sure I'd be speaking to the four of you, and then somehow you came in here. I'm glad you're here. Wouldn't be the same without you. I'm glad you're there on the holy interwebs. Okay, so if you won't tell, I certainly won't tell anyone, but I feel like sometimes I'm a bit of a Debbie Downer. Like, you know, I feel like I talk a lot about the problems that are in our world, and the problems are pretty massive in our world, and then I feel like maybe I make you depressed, and I worry about that. So I thought it's time to switch it up a little bit. Let me talk about hope. And I really did want it to make it feel very uplifting and good, but why do you need hope? And we're back to it. So why do we need hope? Well, we need hope because something's off, something's not right, something doesn't feel right, something isn't working well, the relationship is in trouble, the earth is warming, climate change, AI, stupid diagnosis, aging, body parts not working right, can't sleep anymore. I mean, issues, right? We have them. We all have them. And that's why we need hope to carry on, because we would like to carry on. There's this tug-of-war inside of us, right? That it's hard, it's difficult, but there's gotta be more. There's gotta be something better. Something's gotta keep us going. So what keeps us going, of course, is hope. Now, sometimes, in fact, let me ask you this. What do you think? What is hope? Is it a feeling? Or is it a thought, a way of thinking? Hands up for a feeling. All right? Way of thinking? Okay, so way of thinking wins, just so you know. It is. Hope is a way of thinking. So the definition of hope is something like this. I believe that tomorrow can be better, and there is something I can do about that. So I believe that tomorrow can be better, and there's something I can do about that. If I just believe that tomorrow can be better, but there's nothing I can do about it, that's wishful thinking. That's optimism. Hope has this activity. There's a possibility. There's something, like I have some sort of control over this. Some sort of control. Sometimes not a lot of control, but there's some steps that I can take in that direction. But there are prerequisites to hope, okay? The first one, of course, is a problem. And we're back to it. And the next one is huge, okay? Without it, hope is not possible. So the next one is imagination. I've got to be able to imagine something different. This is not good, I don't like it, and I can see something different. If you cannot see something different, will you work for that? For anything different? If you can't see it, do you want to take a step in that direction? Will you? Why would you? The only way you can, if you can see it. And if you cannot see it, maybe there's somebody else who can see it for you. That's what leaders do sometimes. or often. Good leaders do that. Good leaders see something that others can't, and then they describe it so well that it finds home in the rest of us. And then we start seeing it, and then we all go in that direction, maybe as one. A good leader can inspire that. But you gotta be able to imagine it. And then the next step is that you have to have some sort of ability to make us take a step in that direction. Now, you remember that for the past 4 years, I went through some very serious health issues. And for most of the time, I had to kind of lay flat or walk funny because I was leaking CSF, which is cerebral spinal fluid. And it was a very difficult problem to fix. And I never got depressed about it. There were moments when I got discouraged, like, oh no, I just underwent another procedure and it failed. There I am leaking again. And then and people would come up to me and would say, gee, how come you still smile? How come you still carry on? It seems like there's still some energy about you. And it's true, there was still energy about me. And the reason there was energy about me, because I was always seeking the next solution. I always believed, I saw it. I saw myself upright. I saw myself being able to function again. And that is the only direction that I was willing to go. Now, what happens in life, of course, when we face difficulties, that we see a way, right? And then we have a vision of where we want to go. And then we take the first step, and it's dead end. What then? It's so important to keep that vision alive and just realize this path is dead end. I'm going to discover another one. If that is dead end, I'm going to discover another one, and then another one, if that is dead end. And that's difficult, because it requires also willpower. And the problem is that people who are in a situation that needs fixing, okay, so it's a hopeless situation, it's a bad situation, it needs fixing. Our resources are depleted in that moment. And we develop tunnel vision. So again, there is that tension that because I'm in trouble, I have tunnel vision, and yet I have to keep finding another way, another way, another way to find my way to this goal that I can see, that I can see, that I know that one day I am going to reach. And that's difficult. So, I read a poem about maybe, 10 days ago. And I was so inspired by it. And in fact, if you've read the newsletter, it's in the newsletter. In my article is that poem. And so my talk today, I'm building it, and just so you know, that's how I'm going to end it, with that poem. Because, so, hope is a function of thinking, and it's a function of action. So there's the problem, there's the vision, there's the goal, and then there's my action. And again, we can get discouraged. So we're human beings. And it's so difficult to maintain hope and willpower and the get up and go. when one is alone. It's very difficult. I can totally get it why the African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that togetherness means that when I lose that get up and go, then you encourage me. So, because I am who I am, the Debbie Downer. And as I was preparing for this talk, I watched a bunch of Holocaust survival testimonies. So that's where I emerge from. This time I'm bringing you that energy, right? But I have to tell you that they all say the ones who survived had this hope. They had a vision and they believed that they can get out of there alive. And then there are some who survived who lost hope. And they said they were marching. They had those death marches. They were marching and they were ready to give up. And another one came and said, you got this. You can do this. Another step, take another step, take another step. And so they survived. They survived to tell the story. It's so important for us to be in community, to have a support system, to pick each other up. But for that, we also have to learn to be vulnerable, be transparent, be honest. I'm struggling. I feel like I can't go on. I feel like I had this vision at some point, and it's like it's dimming for me. I don't know what to do next. It requires that, so don't suffer alone. Don't suffer in silence. Be honest, so somebody can come along and say, I hold that vision for you, with you. I'm going to walk this path with you for a while, till you regain your strength, till you regain your ability to carry on. And that's difficult. That's difficult because we live in a culture where we're fine. That's what's celebrated. Strength is celebrated. Fine success is celebrated. I mean, don't we all just want to hear the success stories all the time? So it's hard to be vulnerable and honest and say, yeah, I don't feel like that at all. That's not me. I'm here struggling. Hope is a function of thinking. So whatever you may be going through right now, and we don't have to go to the Holocaust to find problems, because we have problems of our own today. Whatever it may be, there is another way. There is another way. Hope is a function of thinking. It's a different way of thinking. If you can't find the vision, talk to somebody. Reach out. Don't suffer alone. Find the vision with somebody else then, until it becomes alive inside of you, and then it inspires you to take the first step and the next step. If you hit a dead end, that's all it is. It's a dead end. It means that there's another way. Find it. Look for it and find it. If you can't find it alone, ask for what? Ask for help. We are in community. Ask for help. Trust somebody. If you can't find it with them either, ask somebody else. Keep looking. Maybe I am uniquely equipped for hope, this way of thinking. And maybe it's because I grew up in communism, and it was bad. And I don't know, you can measure hope. Did you know that? You can measure hope. And it's very interesting also that people who come from families where hope is taught, so another way of thinking, that there's got to be another way of thinking, those children who grow into adults, they will be more resourceful and more hopeful than the ones who come from families who are like, nothing's working, nothing ever works out. So hope is actually passed on to the next generation. And my father is somebody who never gives up, and I don't have an ounce of give up in me either. But it can be learned, and it can be taught, and you're also passing it on to the next generation. So it's not just, you're not just developing hope for your own self. If you have children, you're passing that on to them. And if you don't have it, that's what you're passing on to them. So then they have to reach in and find resilience someplace else. Does that make any sense? It's important. It's very, very important. So maybe I am uniquely equipped to always look for a way and never accept defeat or, I just don't. It's just not inside me. But the most important element of hope is community. It turns out that hope is also a function and a privilege of community, of living together, of sharing together, of helping each other through, So, the poem that inspired me was written for Transgender Day. It's by I think she's a Unitarian minister. And I would like to share this with you. And if you've read it already and you were inspired then may you be inspired again. And if you haven't read it, then I hope that, or it is my wishful thinking, that you will be inspired. And the reason I want to share this with you, because this is the community I know us to be. Like, I can speak it here and know that it's true. Know that it rings true for us, because this is who we are. This is the walk, the talk that we walk. It's called Wholeness, and by Sharon Wiley. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You're welcome here, all of you. Every part of you, beautiful, just the way you are. Here, you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding. No exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me, or the person sitting next to you, or to the children, or to anyone. You don't have to try to be witty, or more quiet, or more outgoing. You are beautiful. Every part of you beautiful, just the way you are. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful just the way you are. You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you different from each, and beautiful in your own beautiful way. Breathtaking. Let us worship together. And so it is.